Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KitBadger.com, here to bring you another gear review. And today we're talking about gloves. These guys right here. These are the Outdoor Research Backstop Gloves. About 4 years ago, while on deployment overseas, I was trying to figure out some sort of gloves to keep my hands warm. And there's no magical glove that's going to keep your hands warm aside from like giant expedition mitts. And it's a non-starter because you need to be able to operate a weapon. These, definitely not the glove I want to be shooting pistol. You can totally manipulate a rifle with them, which works, but it's kind of that happy medium. Like, yeah, I could use a pistol if I needed to with them, could definitely use a rifle, and do a pretty good job of keeping my hands warm, especially when the wind's blowing. These backstop gloves are made of two different materials. As you can see by the inside, this brown material is their radiant fleece. It does a really good job of keeping you warm. And then this black material is actually Gore Windstopper material. So across the whole backside, i.e. backstop, you have this Windstopper material, and on the inside, you have the radiant fleece. This is the older model, and as you can see, these first two fingers, thumb, and across the palm, you have this silicone material. It does a really good job of kind of creating that tacky feeling to grab a hold of things, especially glass, something that would otherwise slip if you're trying to grab it with this pretty smooth fleece. The newer, which they sell now, which is the Sensor backstop, has a sensor material, little pad right here on your index finger, as well as on your thumb for using any capacitive screens like your smartphones, stuff along those lines. And then the new one also has a little bit of silicone up here on your three fingers rather than just these first two. One thing as far as Achilles heel, right here, there's this little clip so you can clip both of your gloves together, keep them there. And this is just like a little piece of leather. You can see it kind of stretching out. What invariably happens is you grab one of your gloves in your pack and you're like, oh, perfect, they're connected. Start pulling, it gets caught, and this little piece of leather rips, and then it's worthless. A nice workaround I would love to see is either 550 cord loop or even just this sewn right here to where you have almost like a buttonhole that you could just punch a carabiner through and clip them together that way. The newer ones also, with your Sensor backstop, right across here you have a little bit of elastic, help keep the cuffs closed, not let any wind through the cuff. Since I've purchased these gloves, they've done a great job for me. Even if you get your hands wet, ideally just splashed with water as opposed to submerged, they're still gonna keep that chill off your hands more than if you didn't have any gloves. They still do a fairly good job insulating even if they get damp. And as I mentioned, dexterity-wise, you can still do a number of tasks, like whether it's manipulate zippers, buckles on equipment, or manipulating your rifle, anything like that. Do a good job, and they're keeping your hands not necessarily warm, because that's starting with the core. Like, keep your core warm and then your hands will probably stay warm. But what they do with the Windstopper material is keep that heat from getting ripped off your hands. And that's important. Another use I found for them, living up in Idaho, up in the Panhandle, is running in the winter, running along trail, it's cold. That wind keeps it from biting into your hands, makes it much more enjoyable. Or even cruising around on a bike, your hands, they're not moving, and keeping the wind from just biting straight into them. They do a good job with that. Best place to pick these guys up is Amazon. You can find them, depending on size-wise, they're black as well as this kind of coyote tan, and range anywhere from about 27 bucks to about 39 bucks. But good pair of gloves for kind of all around, just keeping your hands insulated, especially in any type of windy conditions. As always, thanks for joining us at KitBadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.